The inner fire is the most important thing mankind possesses. If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand.
Your heart is the size of an ocean. Go find yourself in its hidden depths. If life gives you any trouble, punch it in the face. Turn your wounds into wisdom. More powerful than the mighty armies is an idea whose time has come. You often feel tired, not because you've done too much, but because you've done too little of what sparks a light in you. The world is before you, and you need not take it or leave it as it was when you came in. Energy and initiative count as much as talent and luck.
It doesn't matter how great your shoes are if you don't accomplish anything in them.
No man ever threw away life while it was worth keeping. Sometimes problems don't require a solution to solve them. Instead, they require maturity to outgrow them.
Decide what you want to be, pay the price, and be what you want to be.
The logical man must either deny all miracles or none. All you know is what you think you know, but that isn't always what's real. We cannot go far in life if we only take the path that everyone is taking.
Perhaps home is not a place, but simply an irrevocable condition.
Fear is temporary, regret is forever.
It is man's natural sickness to believe that he possesses the truth.
In truth, Freud sees nothing and understands nothing. Prediction is very difficult, especially about the future.
I will continue my path, but I will keep a memory always.
Devour your fears or they will devour you. Fear is a lie. Stop believing lies. Do not set aside your happiness. Do not wait to be happy in the future. The best time to be happy is always now. In all debates, let truth be thy aim, not victory or an unjust interest.
Oh, darling, don't be bitter. It's the first instinct of the weak.
Through all of living, have much joy and laughter. Life is to be enjoyed, not just endured.
The fear of appearances is the first symptom of impotence. There's more to logic than identifying logical fallacies.
Nothing is as it seems, but something is everything it is made out to be.
Secret operations are essential in war. Upon them, the army relies to make its every move.
Definitions are the guardians of rationality, the first line of defense against the chaos of mental disintegration. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. The worst part of success is trying to find someone who is happy for you. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. It takes guts and humility to admit mistakes. Admitting we're wrong is courage, not weakness. Persistence is the quality of winners. Successful people never give up.
No matter how good you get, you can always get better, and that's the exciting part.
Some beautiful paths can't be discovered without getting lost. The bounties of space, of infinite outwardness were three: empty heroics, low comedy, and pointless death. The seeker embarks on a journey to find what he wants and discovers along the way what he needs. I've heard that the soul often recognizes truth when it hears it, even if the mind does not.
Honest is how I want to look. The truth doesn't glitter and shine.
Your time is the most precious thing in this world.
I care for no man on earth, and no man on earth cares for me. There's nothing you can't do if you want it bad enough. Deeds will not be less valiant because they are unpraised.
When no one you know tells the truth, you learn to see under the surface. Life is like a novel. It's filled with suspense. You have no idea what is going to happen until you turn the page.
So many people love you. Don't focus on the people who don't.
The universe may not always play fair, but at least it's got a hell of a sense of humor. Everything you want in life is a relationship away.
Therefore, the good fighter will be terrible in his onset and prompt in his decision.
Being kind is the greatest thing that costs nothing, but it is everything to the person who receives. Wisdom comes from experience. Experience is often a result of lack of wisdom.
I would never die for my beliefs, because I might be wrong.
You only fail when you stop trying. Sometimes you weren't supposed to share pain. Sometimes it was best just to deal with it alone. I will be able to forecast which side will be victorious and which defeated. I believe that a scientist looking at non-scientific problems is just as dumb as the next guy. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. The moment you let go of your discipline is the moment you give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine.
I'm always doing that, which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it.
Wanting him to come back before anyone notices part of the world has not moved since he left. Where you stumble and fall, there you will find gold. It's the glasses that do not fit the nose, not the nose not fitting the glasses. Decide how badly you want it, then proceed accordingly.
We can't avoid reasoning. We can only avoid doing it well. Understanding that rests in what it does not understand is the finest. A true genius admits that he knows nothing. A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow. We seek the fire of the spark that is already within us.
Success is a state of mind. If you want success, start thinking of yourself as a success. The truth is that judgment and fear will never stop, but they don't actually do anything.
To go outside what your charge was and to try to solve everything yourself is dangerous. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon or star.
Where joy grows deep, sorrow must deepen. The greater one's pleasures, the greater the pain. Rewards await you if you stay steadfast in your faith. Faith is not like a raincoat, only to be worn on drizzly days. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. The act of taking the first step is what separates the winners from the losers. The more you try to please people, the more they get control of you, and you'll end up hurting yourself. Sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to take 10 forward. I was always looking outside myself for strength and confidence, but it comes from within. It is there all the time. Some roses grow through concrete, remember that. The demon that you can swallow gives you its power, and the greater life's pain, greater life's reply.
I saw a star. I reached for it. I missed, so I accepted the sky. There's no clarity. There was never meant to be clarity.
Man is but a reed, the most feeble thing in nature, but he is a thinking reed. A hero is not known by the number of battles he has won, but rather by the kind of battles he chooses to fight.
Any fool can know. The point is to understand.
Truth is a hard master and costly to serve, but it simplifies all problems. A burning desire has devious ways of transmuting itself into its physical equivalent.
To shine your brightest light is to be who you truly are.
Once war becomes a clash of absolutes, there is no breathing room for mercy. Absolute truth is blind truth.
Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality. I knew I was alone in a way that no earthling has ever been before.
After you find out all the things that can go wrong, your life becomes less about living and more about waiting. Success sometimes may be defined as a disaster put on hold. Qualified has to be.
War is a matter of vital importance to the state.
Do not lose yourself in the crowd. You are the only one you've got. Take care of your soul. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve.
Feeling guilty does not set us free. Being equipped sets us free. Your story is remarkable, even if you don't know it yet.
Sacrifice a few years of comfort for decades of freedom.
For every expert, there is an equal and opposite expert.
Gather the best you have to offer and create a heartfelt, prosperous life full of purpose.
Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world.
A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. If you can spend a perfectly useless afternoon in a perfectly useless manner, you have learned how to live. You should never be surprised when someone treats you with respect. You should expect it. You owe no one explanation of why you do what you do, especially those who ask not to help, to judge you.
Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside.
I think that if the world were a bit more like Comic-Con, it would be a better place. My hope still is to leave the world a bit better than when I got here. That's the problem with life. You never get enough time to stare at your ceiling and try to figure out what's going on.
In conflict, straightforward actions generally lead to engagement. Surprising actions generally lead to victory.
To be truly ignorant, be content with your own knowledge. Failure is a bend in the road, not the end of the road. Learn from failure and keep moving forward. Nobody is wired wrong, because there's no wrong and right in the way we are.
If thinking should precede acting, then acting must succeed thinking. It can only take a moment to waste the rest of your life. If you fight with all your might, there is a chance of life, whereas death is certain if you cling to your corner. Life happens, shit happens, and it happens a lot, to a lot of people.
Focus on where you're going and how deserved it is after fighting for as long as you did. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. To forgive is wisdom, to forget is genius and easier. Because it's true, it's a new world every heartbeat. There are many rivers that we cross in our lifetime. Unfortunately, some of those rivers just don't have bridges. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. A man, though wise, should never be ashamed of learning more, and must unbend his mind.
I like people who refuse to speak until they are ready to speak. I'd rather hear an ugly truth rather than an obscure lie. What seems to us as bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well.
At the heart of nature's mystery lies another mystery. Serious thinkers are few, and the world is ruled by crude ideas. Set the troops to their tasks without imparting your designs.
Don't worry about the challenges. Get excited about the rewards of crushing them.
No persons are more frequently wrong than those who will not admit they are wrong.
What the mind can conceive and believe, and the heart desire, you can achieve. There can be glory in failure and despair in success.
When you procrastinate, you become a slave to yesterday.
Shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land in the stars.
Those who realize their folly are not true fools.
No matter how long you train someone to be brave, you never know if they are or not, until something real happens. Worrying about losing is losing before you begin. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself.
A petty thief is put in jail. A great brigand becomes a ruler of a nation.
Try not to become a man of success, but rather become a man of value. Think continually about what you want, not about the things you fear. If you only write when inspired, you may be a fairly decent poet. You'll never be a novelist. You don't need a compass when you are yourself a map. For a day, just for one day, talk about that which disturbs no one, and bring some peace into your beautiful eyes. What you believe you can receive, if you doubt it, you will do without it.
You will find the key to success under the alarm clock.
It is better to be respected than it is to be popular. Popularity ends on yearbook day, but respect lasts forever. Spies cannot be usefully employed without a certain intuitive sagacity.
It's often only in the lies we refuse to speak that any truth can be heard at all. In the end, it will all work out okay. The end isn't final if we're not okay with it. Whatever you believe with feeling becomes your reality.
Truth is not something outside to be discovered. It is something inside to be realized.
If you want more, you have to require more from yourself.
A point of view can be a dangerous luxury when substituted for insight and understanding. We are here, and it is now. The way I see it is, after that, everything tends towards guesswork. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good.
Done is better than perfect.
Life teaches us the right path is rarely the easy one. The more I read, the more I acquire, the more certain I am that I know nothing.
Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand.
Set goals that make your heart sing. Then achieving them is an experience of uplifting joy. If there is any truth in the world, it lies when I'm with you. It frightens me, the awful truth of how sweet life can be. Every man should lose a battle in his youth, so he does not lose a war when he is old. It takes sunshine and rain to make a rainbow. There would be no rainbows without sunshine and rain. Beliefs are choices. First you choose your beliefs, then your beliefs affect your choices.
One mistake does not have to rule a person's entire life.
Earn nicely, spend wisely, and you will live happily.
The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. The older I grow, the more I distrust the familiar doctrine that age brings wisdom.
Some concepts are so incredibly risky they take an honest fool to try to articulate them. Regret is mostly caused by not having done anything. From whichever side I start, I think I am in an old place where others have been before me. The only reason for a test is to grow our faith in his ability to help us pass it.
Humanity must forgive humanity, for only then can we be humane.
A man can't soar too high when he flies with his own wings.
Realize deeply that the present moment is all you will ever have. Watching my back is the perfect opportunity to stick a knife in it. Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler.
We beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Anything can be done, as long as you truly believe it. You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You were never in control anyway. Because I don't live in either my past or my future. I'm interested only in the present. I was lost yesterday, I am found today, and I will be forgotten tomorrow. The happiness of the drop is to die in the river.
Nothing makes a person happier than having a happy heart.
The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. My motto is that you can't always control what happens to you in life, but you can control your reaction. It is your responsibility to find fault with me. It is mine to hear you out. But don't expect me to change. I'm not afraid of dying, I'm afraid of not trying. The beginning is the most important part of the work.
He who pursues fame at the risk of losing his self is not a scholar.
Who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. It is not enough to show how clever we are by showing how obscure everything is.
Don't fast forward through life. You'll miss all the good stuff along the way. There are not more than 5 primary colors, yet in combination they produce more hues than can ever be seen. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you.
To buy a cake, to howl at the moon, to know true happiness, I am happy.
Cherish those who seek the truth, but beware of those who find it.
I need to stop fantasizing about running away to some other life and start figuring out the one I have. Edit your life frequently and ruthlessly. It's your masterpiece after all. Life is a journey that necessitates progress. Keep moving, because each step brings you closer to your goals.
Speak to me. I will spend my lifetime trying to understand you.
We should be humble in our approach, but should not grumble towards life. There has never been a protracted war from which a country has benefited. Knowing your why is much more important than setting a random goal.
What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly.
Sometimes being happy takes effort. Invest time and energy in yourself and your happiness. Life is a dance. Mindfulness is witnessing that dance. The beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. Look at the sky tonight. All the stars have a reason. Forgiveness doesn't have to be when they are sorry, but when you show compassion to those who don't deserve it. Beauty as we feel it is something indescribable. What it is or what it means can never be said. 10 years from now, make sure you can say that you chose your life, you didn't settle for it. People have boldness to criticize, but not to sensitize.
Accepting oneself does not preclude an attempt to become better.
Focus on your goals, not your fear. Focus like a laser beam on your goals. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Then quit. No use being a damn fool about it. When you open your mind, you open new doors to new possibilities for yourself and new opportunities to help others.
What is of supreme importance in war is to attack the enemy's strategy.
To read is to empower is to write is to influence is to change is to live. Sometimes you lie to deceive people. Sometimes you lie because you need the lie to become the truth.
If your life is worth thinking about, it is worth writing about.
In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to reform.
If people treat you like an option, leave them like a choice. Your vision will be blurry, but it will grow clear with time.
If you haven't the strength to impose your own terms upon life, then you must accept the terms it offers you. That's the thing about life. A lot of the time, it isn't easy at all. We just have to try to make the best of it. You make the world a better place by making daily improvements to become the best version of yourself.
Hold yourself back, or heal yourself back together. You decide.
I promise you this. When I embraced my differences and stopped trying to fit in, I ended up where I belonged.
In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
For it is our scars that show us where we've been. Let them not dictate where we are going.
The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right. You can't be brave if you've only had wonderful things happen to you.
It is during our failures that we discover our true desire for success. Wanting to be someone else is a waste of who you are. When one experiences truth, the madness of finding fault with others disappears.
Better the comfort of a lie than the absurdity of the truth.
I think it's important to hold a mirror up to society and yourself. That's a misconception, Lenny. The sky is everywhere. It begins at your feet. Never stop fighting, never stop dreaming. Fear is oftentimes born of ignorance and misconception. It lays waste to the landscape of the soul. Your rebel soul shines like a diamond pulled from dust, bright, clear, and flawless.
Time is heavy sometimes. Imagine how heavy eternity must be.
There is nothing worse for the lying soul than the mirror of reality. Life belongs to the living, and he who lives must be prepared for changes.
The true vocation of man is to find his way for himself. Law is made by the winner to preserve victory over the loser.
Take responsibility of your own happiness. Never put it in other people's hands. But as long as something is never even started, you never have to worry about it ending. It has endless potential. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching.
Life is a bittersweet journey, my friend, a bittersweet journey.
You are exactly where you need to be. If you want something, do something about it. Otherwise, it will be your whole life. And all the lives we ever lived, and all the lives to be, are full of tree sand, changing leaves.
Vulnerability is the least celebrated emotion in our society. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do.
We never know the quality of someone else's life, though we seldom resist the temptation to assume and pass judgment.
Growth and advancement happen outside the comfort zone.
Listen with curiosity, speak with honesty, act with integrity. Talking without thinking is like shooting without aiming.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you odd.
We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. I would prefer a sword to fight duel, but a pen to plan a war. I can be forced to live without happiness, but I will never consent to live without honor. Some people avoid thinking deeply in public only because they are afraid of coming across as suicidal. When life doesn't meet your expectations, it was important to take it with grace.
I can't feel my tongue, but I know it's there because I'm talking.
Speaking the truth is the main attribute of a pure-hearted person. You don't need more time. You need less distractions. People are supposed to care. It's good that people mean something to you, that you miss people when they're gone. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive. I have made a ceaseless effort not to ridicule, not to bewail, not to scorn human action, but to understand them.
Make the most of yourself, for that is all there is of you.
How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. When it's possible for you to dream, it's not impossible to achieve.
Follow your heart. Listen to your inner voice. Stop caring about what others think.
All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know. When you're screwing up and nobody says anything to you anymore, that means they've given up on you. Of course, there is no formula for success, except perhaps an unconditional acceptance of life and what it brings. The goal is timeless. Chase the moment and you lose. You can't dwell on what might have been, and it's not fair to condemn him for something he hasn't done. Sacrifice is a part of life. It's supposed to be. It's not something to regret. It's something to aspire to.
Amid the turmoil and tumult of battle, there may be seeming disorder, and yet no real disorder at all.